Okay, are we live? Are we live? What's up, my dogs and my peeps? Welcome to part two of my tier maker. Last episode, I did my movies, all the movies I watched for the year 2024, and now I'm doing all the shows that I watched in 2024. So, of course, we got the same roster. We got amazing, good, mess slash mid, and absolutely atrocious. So, we're kicking it off with a fucking banger. What do you know? Another modern Marvel show, Agatha All Along. This show is one of the most unbearable, confusing, jumbled up piece of garbage I think I've ever seen. The show is so stupid. The story makes no sense. Nothing about it makes sense. The characters are stupid. So, this baby, guess what? Amazingly, absolutely atrocious. That is going downhill, dude. Next, this show is called The Mole. This is a reality show on Netflix. It's got 2 seasons. Each season is a different set of people, of course, and it is about people competing for moolah. And of course, the whole twist is there is a mole that is with the group of people whose job is to sabotage everyone. So it's a very fun show. I'm gonna put it at amazing so far. Not number one. The Ones Who Live. This is, oh my god. So this is one of the 4 Walking Dead spin-off shows that actually did it right. I really could not give less of a fuck about the Daryl show. That show is super boring and unnecessary. Dead City was okay. Tales of the Walking Dead, I only watched a few episodes. Oh no, I only watched one. Never mind. One episode was good, but I didn't care to watch the rest. But this show is very, very good. It consisted of 6 episodes. I'm going to say the first 4 episodes I really enjoyed, and then, to be honest, the last 2 episodes didn't really do it for me. There's a reunion scene at the end that is a little cringe, because there is a kid actor that is completely awful. Just completely ruined the moment, but still a good show for it being a Walking Dead spin-off show. And as you all know, The Walking Dead is one of the most milked franchises ever. The Penguin, this bad boy, is a great show for DC. It kind of helped DC get on its feet a little bit. It's a Batman spin-off show in the world of Matt Reeves, my boy Matt Reeves. The show is kind of like Breaking Bad, where the main character is the villain, and there's crime drama and stuff. But this show just does a really good job of just making Penguin just such a son of a bitch. There's characters that you can empathize with in this show. With Sophia, I'd say Sophia Falcone is probably my favorite character in the show. She's very well written. And then you got Vic, who's a good kid, and then you've got some other characters. But that was definitely a very fun show. For it only being, how many episodes was it? It was like 8 episodes? It was an 8-episode show. I personally don't think it needs a season 2 because it just kind of told a great story, and I think it should leave it at that. And I hear that the story is going to continue in the second Batman movie, which we're going to get in about 40 years, I presume. We're off to a good start. We've got 2 amazing, 1 good, and only 1 absolutely atrocious. Next show, The Age Show. This is a Squid Game-like show. It was very fun to watch, also very dark. The episodes were long, but they were very entertaining. It's one of those shows where, at least for me personally, it's hard to get bored. Like, it's just a very entertaining show, and I think it's a very important show to watch. It says a lot about today's society, so that's going to amazing. Daredevil. I know, I just got around to start watching this show. This show is absolutely amazing. It's got a good mixture of action and a great story. It's got some great law stuff if you're really into courtrooms and, of course, lawyer stuff. It's great for that. Some great characters, cool-ass villains. Punisher, of course, is one of the best parts about that show. And it reminds me a lot of Batman. I'm a huge, huge Batman fan. And if you give me Batman vibes, then you've won in my book. So that is amazing. Monsters at Work. This is a Monsters, Inc. universe spin-off show. This is season 2. Season 1 came out a few years ago. Back, I think, when quarantine was in effect. And it was kind of a cute show, but it wasn't that good. But this season actually had a much better story, and it integrated a lot more characters from Monsters University, which I think it should have done in the first place, and the comedy was pretty good too. The Boys Season 4. The Boys is one of the most unhinged shows ever, yet it is super deep. It's very well written. It's got some very iconic characters. This is Season 4. I came out this year. I think this season was very well done. I hear a lot of people didn't like it, which I can kind of see because this season is kind of building up to the final season, but I still think it did a good job of being entertaining. I loved all the Homelander moments. I love the twist that Butcher was just seeing Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character just as a vision. That was very, very clever. So I'm putting that as at amazing. Smiling Friends Season 2. This came out earlier this year. This show is super funny. It's basically South Park on crack. The characters are very weird looking, but it's a very funny show. The episodes are like 15 minutes long, but they sure do feel fucking long. In this season, it kicks off with a banger with the Gwimbly episode, and then I think there's 2 more episodes in that season that I think were very funny, and then the rest are just kind of weird, but still a very, very good show. Tales of the Empire. About time we got to a Star Wars show. Ooh, Star Wars shows are not that great, dude. It started great with Mandalorian, but ever since then, Star Wars shows have just not been that great, dude. But Andor and Tales of the Jedi have been the exception. I love Tales of the Jedi, and I didn't really expect to like it as much. And so, when the trailer came out for Tales of the Empire, and I saw Grievous was gonna be in it, Darth Vader was gonna be in it, Barriss Offee, and a little bit of Thrawn, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be amazing, right? Not! Baby's going to mid/mid. Not atrocious, but it definitely missed the mark. I will say, I really don't think they should have shown Vader in the trailer, because I feel like if you show Vader in your trailer, you're definitely hyping people up to see Vader, right? Because, I mean, they did that in Rogue One, where they showed Vader in the trailer, but Vader had multiple scenes in the movie, and his final scene was very impactful. But they showed Vader in the trailer for this, and it's exactly what you saw in the trailer. The boy literally comes in and sits down. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Great job, Vader. Great fucking job. And then I remember in the 5th or 4th episode, there's like a reference to some non-binary character. And to me, it just felt very out of place. It didn't feel like Star Wars. It just felt like more propaganda woke crap. So the show definitely could have been good for me, but just because of that dumb inclusion, that's going to mid. The Ted Show. I remember I first watched the Ted movie a while ago, and I thought it was really funny, and I love Seth MacFarlane or whatever's voice. And so when I heard about a show, I was like, oh, that's a pretty good idea. And I say the first episode didn't really get me into it, but the later episodes were absolutely hilarious, and I feel like it's to the point where it's even better than Family Guy. I also love Family Guy, but Family Guy can be a very hit or miss show. There are jokes that land, and then there are some jokes that are just stupid, and I feel very kindergarten-y. But it wasn't just funny. It told a pretty good story, and some of the characters are very funny too. So I'm putting that at amazing. I'm excited for season 2. Warrior. I just recently watched this show. This show is fucking absolutely badass. As you guys may know, I'm a huge fan of Cobra Kai. It's got great fight scenes, but this show definitely beats Cobra Kai's ass with the fighting. The fighting is literally John Wick-like. The story is very unique too. I love the time period that it takes place in, and I don't live too far from San Francisco, so it's definitely very relatable with San Francisco looking like crap and being crap. And the episodes are nice and long too, so you can sit and watch an episode for a while, and you get a lot of information. I was hardly ever bored with the show. It's very entertaining. Amazing. Bad Batch Season 3. Another Star Wars show, and as you can tell, Acolyte's coming up. We'll get to that. Bad Batch Season 3. The first season of Bad Batch I thought was meh. Bad Batch Season 2 I thought was a little bit better. This season was not as good as Season 2 in my opinion. I'm putting it at mid/mid. And, you know, they can throw in Palpatine all they want. They can throw in Cad Bane and Asajj Ventress. It's just, it doesn't make the show better, you know? And I see a lot of people saying Bad Batch is the exception, but like I'm sure those are the same people that are like, oh, you just like cameos. Well, look at season 3. Like I just said, they threw in Palpatine and Asajj Ventress and all these other characters, and it's like they're clearly just throwing that at you so you tune in. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I don't think it holds a candle to Clone Wars, but I mean that's kind of an obvious thing to say because Clone Wars has like 7 seasons. This only has 3, but I still feel like they could have made it a lot better. It's just kind of a boring show. There's lots of filler episodes that aren't entertaining in the slightest. It's very hit or miss. You'll have episodes that are super intense and impactful and sometimes kind of emotional, and then you'll have episodes where Tech is doing a pod race, and it's just like, how did we go from adding on to the story to a bunch of bullshit? So overall, I'd even say Bad Batch is a mid show. The Acolyte. This show was announced years ago, and I heard it was going to be focused more on the Sith, and I was like, let's fucking go, you know. As much as I love the Jedi, you can get a little bit sick of them. Sometimes you want to see it from the bad guy's perspective, or see what you want a show that's kind of revolved around them. And this show was nothing like that. Absolutely nothing like that. It was about 2 horribly written characters who are painfully boring, just being cringy, horrible acting. The fighting is unique, and I will give this show props for being unique. I was about to say no cameos, but there are a couple cameos at the last episode, which I feel like throwing Yoda in there is a little silly, but there was a little tease at Darth Plagueis at the end, which I really liked. Unfortunately, though, the show did get canceled. I don't know, honestly, if I would rather have seen a season 2 or not. All I know is that when I saw Darth Plagueis, I was pretty hyped. I was like, oh wow, something interesting. And then it cuts away and it's like, oh, damn it. Season ends and it's a mid show. And that is it. I accidentally put Bad Batch season 3 twice in here, so oh boy. Hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what your favorite shows you watched this year are, and have a happy Hanukkah.